it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel. So, um, this is a review for this book. Just finished it, and it was good. Obviously, I tabbed it a lot. I rated 5 out of 5 stars. I want to say, maybe 4. I don't know. I'll have to go check and then decide if I want it to be 4 or 5. I mean, I did love the story. My only downfall is that I followed Frankie a lot, and I was not a fan. Like Frankie, these scenes that were just about Frankie bored me. I mean, a lot of it was about Frankie, obviously. Like, good half of it was about Frankie, half of it was about Melody on their separate journeys to be new at high school. But the Frankie scenes that had to do with her new monster friends, like Draculaura, Claudine, Cleo, Laguna, all of them, those scenes I liked because I love the ghouls, not Frankie obviously, but the other ghouls, and I love their tight-knit friendship it displayed them having, and I absolutely loved those scenes. But a lot of the beginning was mostly about Frankie and then Melody, and I did have a couple Melody scenes towards the beginning, like when she met Jackson. But yeah, I went a few chapters without having anything because it was so boring. But it does get better pretty early on, obviously. And it is intriguing because they have to, like, in this story, here, I'll read you what the back says. It says, Melody and her family left behind the glamorous Beverly Hills for the fresh air of Salem, Oregon. After shredding her old camel hump nose and constant asthma attacks, Melody finally gets to be the pretty one at Mercy High. Too bad she feels like a fraud until she meets Jackson, but her new romance gets tricky when Melody hears total bizarre rumors about monster sightings. Fellow new student Frankie has lived in Salem all her life, but then again, she's only been alive for 15 days. She sets out to conquer high school boys and shopping in that order, but if she wants to fit in, she's going to have to hide a monster of a secret. Instead, she risks it all for a stolen kiss, a mistake that could cost her everything. Yeah, Frankie's very selfish in this book because, like, this is very complicated because, like, at one point I do kind of agree with Frankie about wanting to go out and be proud of who you are, about being a monster, and, you know, they shouldn't be ashamed of all that, but at the same time, she shouldn't be risking everyone around her, everyone she cares about, her family, her new friends, because she likes a normie boy and wants to be with him even though he is already in a relationship and she just doesn't care. So I get why she wants to be out and proud, and I respect that for her, even though I still don't like her. But I understand everyone else too, you know? It's like they all have tried to come out before and it always backfired on them. Centuries and centuries of monsters being treated like, you know, and they all want to come out. They all want to be out and proud of who they are. They want to be able like they used to be, where monsters did live side to side with normies until all those monster movies came out and made everyone terrified. And her parents have tried to explain to her time and time again, yet all she cares about is a kiss with a boy who already has a sticky girlfriend. Sorry, I have issues with Frankie. A lot of issues. But Melody, on the other hand, is more tolerable. I actually kind of like her for a normie. She has asthma, and she used to be called Melody because she likes big nose and stuff. But then it was getting too much for her asthma, and so her father, who's a plastic surgeon, finally had to fix her face. I mean, he's offered that several times, but she kept saying no, she doesn't care about being the pretty one. She wants people to like her for her, not because she's pretty. But eventually she had no choice because of her asthma, and then they had to move to Salem because of her asthma, because there's clearer air there. And Candace is also really selfish. She doesn't care that this will benefit her sister. All she cares about is the fact that she has to go to a new school the year before she starts college, and has to leave her friends, and but you find out that she was just throwing a tantrum to get what she wanted anyways, but still, that's she annoys me a little bit. But there were a few signs to show that she actually did care about her sister, and it was sweet. I even marked one of these sweet moments. I think I only marked one, because like blue is for family relations, and I only have one blue one here, so, and they're the only family really on here. Well, actually that's not true, there's Frankie and her parents, but like a lot of the book they were fighting because Frankie wanted to go out, they wanted her to hide, so yeah. Yeah, right here when Candace gives her advice about going after Jackson, after Melody found out his secrets. So yeah. But it's a good book and I like it a lot. I tabbed some of my favorite scenes were the friendships. Melody, a friendship with Becca and Haley was okay. They ended up kind of blackmailing her at the end, and it looks like their friendship might be over. Like I said, I only read this book once. I don't remember if they make up or anything, but true friends make up. I know. I mean, we all fight with our friends, but we all get over it if they're true friends. Yeah, I put orange tab when Dracula and Laguna made her first appearance because they had this quick, cute little banter, showed how close they were. And then when they were laughing again shortly after, and then when they were all in the car on their way to the spa, this one was more of a sad and sweet moment. Dracula was a little mad at Cleo, and then they talked it out and made up, and yeah, it was sweet. It showed how, because Cleo can be very selfish. I don't care who you ask. Everyone who knows Cleo knows she can be very, very selfish and self-involved. But when it comes to her boyfriend and her best friends, she can be pretty sweet, and she has proven more than once in the movies and in the books that when it comes to Deuce and her ghoul friends, Dracula, Claudine, Laguna, and Frankie, she can be really sweet and she does really care about them. And then Cleo kind of was joking around with Claudine when Frankie found out they're all monsters, which was really sweet. Where's the next orange tab? I don't know, the next ones might be about Melody and Melody and Becca and Haley. Yeah, Becca told Melody and Haley about her boyfriend's plans because she has this rule about friends first. Which is a nice rule. Yeah, and then Becca made Melody feel better when she was all sad about a fight with Jackson. So yeah. So Melody made friends with Becca and Haley, who's like friends first always. And then at the end of the book, she wasn't really sure because it's like she wants to help Becca, but this is Becca's fight, and her fight with Jackson, she actually cares more about. So she was like, should I go with my friends or my boyfriend now? But Frankie convinces her friends to go. She kind of manipulated them, actually. She found out that Deuce was going to the dance with Melody because... Yeah? Alright. That's what I was saying. She told Cleo that Deuce was going with Melody, even though they were going as just friends because Deuce didn't have anyone else to go with since Cleo was boycotting and was hanging out with her friends. And Melody didn't have anyone to go with, so she was fighting with Jackson. Well, it's not really that they were fighting, it's that Jackson didn't know that he was a normie or a monster, and so he was like, and then when he found out, he was all upset, and he knew that Melody knew, and Melody didn't know that he knew she knew, and he was kind of trying to stay away from her because he was afraid, I guess. But yeah, so they end up going to the dance, and Melody confronted Jackson about knowing, and then he confronted her about knowing she knew, and then they had a really sweet moment. I tabbed it red, I think, because it was sweet and I liked it. Red is for romance, like my favorite romance scene between my favorite couples. The only red tabs here have to do with Melody and Jackson. There's only 5 in this book. Well, there was a lot of 6. I think there's 6. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. But yeah. But yeah, that sweet moment at the dance and decided to dance together, and it was so cute. And then the ghouls decided to go as themselves for this dance because it was a monster mash, so everyone was dressed up as monsters anyways. So they decided to all go to this dance, and then Deuce saw them. Cleo kind of was mad at him, and he was like, we're just going as Freya's, and please don't do this, because he was afraid like what would happen if she went as her natural self. It was sweet because he does care about her, and I love them. But they went in anyways, and she was dressed up because Brett, the guy she likes, actually loves monsters. His favorite being Frankenstein, so that's what they went with. And Beck was like, I'll go as the bride of Frankenstein. But Frankie, being the actual granddaughter of Frankenstein, decided to go as the bride of Frankenstein, her grandmother. And so Brett saw her thinking it was Becca, and then kissed her. And then he was kind of touching her seams, and then her head comes off. So everyone started screaming in a panic. Melody isn't sure what to take of this because she still doesn't think monsters are real. She doesn't even think Jackson's a monster. She never really considered him that, even though Jackson's considering himself as a monster. And then yeah, so that's a lot of fun. Becca's like, you have to go find this girl while I'm at the hospital with Brett. And then and Jackson's trying to get her out there because instead in the movies it was music that made Jackson become high, but in here it's heat. If he gets too hot and starts sweating, then he becomes high, or DJ Hyde is what he's called on here. So yeah. And then so Jackson's trying to get Melody out there because he needs to leave before he becomes DJ again. And then Melody's like torn between them because she's like, he's my boyfriend and I want to help him, but Becca's my best friend and I want to help her. And she eventually decides that Becca's fight is her fight because she doesn't even believe in this monster. She thinks it was just some special effect thing, and but Jackson's problem is real to her, so she needs to help him. So so he ends up turning to DJ, and they get lost. So she decides she needs to help him. She needs to find him, and then Becca comes up to her and is like, because apparently she left her phone in her car, and Becca found the video of because when that's how she was able to tell Jackson that he's also DJ because she videotaped the entire thing because she didn't even know what it was herself until she overheard Jackson's mom tell him. And then so she never deleted it, so Becca found it and then emailed it to herself. She was like, if you don't find me this green girl whose head popped off in like 2 days, then I'm showing this to everyone. So I'm not even sure if they're friends anymore, let's be real. But so she ends up having to tell Jackson, and Jackson's like, we can't turn her in, because while that was going on, DJ had found Frankie's house and stuck into her bedroom, and they were talking because DJ has a thing for Frankie, and Frankie's starting to realize that it's not Brett she likes, it's DJ she likes, so she did all of that for nothing. Man, Frankie annoys me. But but then the room cools down, so he becomes Jackson again, and Jackson gets all confused, like, how did I get here? And he runs away and finds, and Frankie has no idea what's going on because, like, she doesn't know that DJ is also Jackson at this moment. And then, Jackson runs to Melody, and they talk. She tells him about the video, and he's like, we can't turn her in because she's actually really sweet. I found where she lives, and because I think DJ has a thing for her, and it's all really, and she doesn't deserve this. And and then Melody's like, I have another plan. Let's go to my room. And then it was really hot, and she tricked him so she can turn him back into DJ because she's like, I have to find this girl. I have to save you. And then so DJ leads Melody to Frankie's, and then Frankie explains everything to DJ and Frankie about the video, about Jackson being DJ, and yeah. So and then Melody's like, I was supposed to turn you in, but now I don't want to because you don't deserve that. Yeah, I mean, wow. So they agree to, they have 2 days to figure this out, to find a plan to save Jackson and her, and to stop Becca and this whole monster chaos thing. So they decide to team up and become allies, but they also have another issue at hand, which isn't their main concern, obviously. It's like what's going to happen after they succeed or fail. Well, I guess we'll find out. But they also have the whole problem about them both technically liking the same guy. I mean, they're not the same guy, but they are the same guy. I mean, Melody, and the thing is, Melody doesn't even like DJ because he's very, if you've seen Monster High, then you understand. Holt is very, Holt is a lot. Yeah, he's called DJ instead of Holt. Well, a lot of them have to change their names. I mean, Draculaura has to go by Lala because she can't go by Draculaura at school because, like, that's kind of a red flag. Laguna has to go by Blue, which everyone at school probably just figures those two are nicknames. Like, I doubt anyone actually thinks those are their real names. But Cleo goes by her regular name, and so does Claudine, but Claudine has to spell it differently, the normie spelling. Because I think Claudine is an actual name. It's spelled, like, her way is spelled C-L-A-W-D-E-N, and I think the normie spelling is C-L-A-U-D-E-N, or something like that. So yeah, but yeah, so I mean, he goes by DJ High. Maybe his real name is Holt, and he just hasn't told anyone yet. I don't remember because I haven't read this book in a really long time, and I only read it once. So there's a lot I don't remember. But now I'm rereading it finally, so yay. And I have tabs, so now I can find my favorite scenes easier too. The fourth book, oh my gosh, I'm probably going to tag that one locks. That one has a lot to do with Draculaura, and she's my favorite. So I'm definitely going to end up tabbing that one a lot. Crap. Oh well. But yeah, that's kind of how the book ends, with them agreeing to team up to save Jackson / Hyde, and then saving all monsters with it, really. So so yeah, that's how the book ended. But I'll read the second books soon, probably not today. But yeah. Now that Trick or Treat-a-thon is done, I'll probably be doing a what's it called? Haul video? No, unhaul. Okay, I always get those confused. I think the the unhaul is the one where you just like received a bunch of new books and show it to your audience, and then the haul video is when you throw away books you don't want, right? I think so. I think I'm right. Comment below if I'm wrong, because I like to know before I actually made the video. Yeah, because there's a couple books I read for that I'm gonna be hauling for my Trick or Treat-a-thon, and then there's a few other books that I want to haul, and I will show you what those books are, and I will get rid of them because I do not want them. So yeah, that's fun. So I do recommend this if you want to give it a try. If you're a fan of Monster High, I mean, you don't have to be a fan of Frankie to read this book, obviously. I mean, I'm not a fan of Frankie, and I still love the series. The first book is definitely not my favorite because it does have a lot to do more with Frankie. I mean, the other books do too, but the other books also have a lot to do with other characters, thankfully. And it does show Gulia on for one, but she was only on one chapter, which made me sad. And she texted Cleo, but then it was kind of just what she was doing to let the audience know that Gulia is still in this book, even if she's hardly ever mentioned, which kind of made me sad because I like Gulia. I think she's very underrated. But I don't really remember, but I hope she's in the next books. I mean, she should be in the second book. The second book is about Cleo, and they're like best friends, right? So, oh well. But I definitely do recommend this, so please check it out. So please like and subscribe and comment your thoughts on this book. If you like Monster High, if you want to read it or anything, and we'll chat below. And I'll talk to you guys later.